Well, Heatwave said that all he thinks about in the middle of June is a particular person. But I'm not thinking about anybody. All I've been thinking about all week is how to get back to you and, of course, bring to you another edition of The Gliders. And that's why I'm here. It's the middle of June, the 16th day in the month of June. Well, yeah, somehow the middle of June. Although it has 30 days. If you remember, your 30 days are September, April, June, and November. This particular one has 30 days. So somehow, 15, 16, same thing. It is the middle of June and another day to bring you an off-season edition. When I say off-season, off-football season, because I mean the basketball season is still ongoing with the playoffs. But off-season edition of The Gliders. And welcome to this edition. My name is Euphoria as usual, and I have the guys in the studio with me. And as usual, the new star that we started recently, I want to get what they've been doing all through the week. So I'll hear from Mikolo first. How have your week been? What sporting thing did you do? How was your sporting week?
It's good to be back on the show. I don't remember doing any sporting thing all
Really?
week, to be honest.
There was nothing to go watch.
I've been like really chilled, the NNL season.
So it's the off season for you.
So I'm really like trying to chill. Leading up onto like there's a tournament in the summer for my academy, so I'll probably like just chilling and just relaxing and preparing for the Gothia Cup that will be taking place in Sweden next month. There's also some little bit of WAFCON activities that's also taking place in July, and then a little bit I watch a couple of games in the Club World Cup, though happy it's watching. I know that little man disappointed the sound, but there's also like a very funny video I saw that encapsulated what that game was on. There was this guy that said he said I staked my money, I bought tickets to come and watch, and this guy is just here strolling on the pitch and holding his waist. And that was like a very legit crash out, and I'm like, bro, retire before football leaves you. That was what they were telling my goats when he was 36. Now you're 37, you can't even run anymore, playing with Suarez.
Was he ever running?
And all of that. But now I feel like
he used to have competitions.
There's also a crash out. There's also a crash out online. People that have not watched Inter Miami in a very long time, where like at least Ronaldo fans can at least watch Al Nassr. Inter Miami is an eyesore.
I was saying the thing I was seeing was they were not even saying, they were just using the acronyms KDRR.
To be honest, it was an eyesore.
It was that bad if you say it is that bad, because I didn't watch the game. It was a midnight game and it's all basketball.
At the point I saw people were saying that Al Ali should be like probably 2 goals up or 3 goals up and then Trezeguet also lost 10 like Bayern. Trezeguet also lost a penalty and that's basically.
But that Inter Miami goalkeeper should be celebrated. It's like the best thing that's happened since the tournament started, in my opinion.
Inter Miami or Al Ali?
Inter Miami saved the penalty.
Their goalkeeper, apart from the penalty save, there were a lot of chances. I don't know how to describe that moment, that game. Whether it's for me to say that the Inter Miami goalkeeper was extraordinarily good in the game or Al Ali were profligate. There's nothing about the Inter Miami 10 players that I can even mention to use. Everybody was useless. Messi is a great player, but I mean the people around him and him himself, Messi should walk away from football. I'm sorry. I've been receiving bullet bombs and this for my opinion, but I think that people, if you know me by now, you should know that the more you throw those bombs, the more opinion I will give. And if you also know me very well, I don't say things that I don't have fact about, and if you push it too much, I drop some more. So just a warning. Then I start receiving death threat like
let's
So that
was how your own week was.
Your own week was full of trust.
Joy was everywhere. Joy, come. Like
I'll talk about my week.
No, don't tell me about your week. I just want to say this thing out of my mind. Which joy are you giving us?
Which joy am I giving?
So there are 50 shades of joy.
Okay.
50 shades of joy.
Okay.
Did you see Joy catwalk into a stage?
When you say 50 shades, something else came to my head, but then let's move on from that.
Give us that joy. Joy is coming. Yeah, I don't know that joy comes here. Okay, you give us
to the viewers to actually decide on that particular one. But for Emmanuel, how was your week? I know there was combat sports, and I know that you're excited about that. So how was your week? We'll talk about that anyway on the show.
Well, my weekend was packed. I haven't had enough sleep because I was up for most of the night.
Bullets too.
I got some bullets too, but moving away from football, I finally saw the movie Straw. I didn't cry. It was a
I
good.
most likely
What we are
will
going to do
cry.
now? We'll
seen
call
everywhere.
Ogo to organize for you.
I most likely will cry.
I've been seen everywhere. Straws.
I didn't
Okay,
cry
I had
too, it was
to.
close.
I forced myself to see the movie. It was a good movie, no doubt. But I'm not this all emotional
Well,
kind of person. No.
That guy, have
Yeah.
family.
In the spirit of getting
That's why I've not
bullets,
watched it. I most likely will cry.
John, did you cry?
I've not seen the movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
I
most
mean,
likely
I'm
will
going
cry.
through a lot. I cannot put myself to go through a Tyler
To be
Perry
honest,
movie.
those are the kind of movies that whatever tears you've probably been piling up, once you watch that, you don't even know what's making you
You
cry.
just-
You just start.
And the character might
To
as well.
be honest, yeah, you might not even pity the woman. You just feel like, oh, Echo Bank. Oh. And tears just start rolling. Oh, Lagos traffic.
Oh my God!
You know, like those are the kind of songs.
That one landed well. Sniper.
The tears just start rolling down. Once you see her going through a lot, you just remember your own a lot. I just start
Well,
No, I
he
think-
said it.
From the storylines that I've seen, I most likely will cry. I know.
No, it's a good movie.
That's me that I am.
You know, I saw a meme.
But
Somebody
you cry.
said, "Ordinary stroll when I watch, when they cry. If you hear my own story, you go cry."
Yeah, there's that time.
Oh my God!
Put it on the screen. If you
Well,
don't cry.
I think it's something that has become like a niche for Tyler Perry, which is why I don't watch his movie, because why are you always making black women suffer? We are suffering. Don't show it to us. I don't want to see it, so I'm not watching the movie. That is me saying mine. But for me, how was my week? My week was good. I had a really good week until it got to the weekend. Well, that one I don't talk about that one. But for the week, it was great. I had so much to do in sports. I finally experienced a new sport called squash. I was also leading a panel right there. You can see on your screen at
This girl
Ladies in
is
Sports
gorgeous.
10th edition.
In case you don't know, that's the girl on red is joining.
Well,
You
yeah,
can
there's
see her
something.
glasses now.
Yeah,
But this one is
obviously.
off red. The girl in red is joining. This one, yeah, the one in blue, yeah.
Lady in red.
So
Oh my
red.
God!
On the
Oh,
Well,
the lady red. Sorry.
Well, you can never go wrong in red. Brian Mo said that, and I mean, it's always. Don't worry, I'll try and make sure I wear a red gown very soon on the show. I can't promise you guys next week, but I'll try very soon to wear a red gown so that you guys will see how I look like in red. I don't think I've worn a red gown.
Save the
on
red
this
for
show.
Morocco.
I
is a red
mean, it's
place.
also. I also want. There's going to be plethora of red gowns going forward. I think everyone likes the red.
I
so,
love this.
yeah.
This is
Anyways,
fun. I
that's how
love
my
it.
week went.
I think I also want to probably give a shout out or give flowers to like Joy. And when I saw the picture and the
girl
whole
is
thing
doing
that's
a lot.
coming up in LIS, and it just made me like really proud. To be honest, I'm really like proud of you.
Thank you so much.
attending LIS as participants.
Wow, that's
getting
true. 2
invites
years
and
ago,
all that.
and,
And all that. And
good.
now like leading a panel. When I saw that you were leading panel, I'm like, oh, okay, that's like really nice. And the come up is real. I feel like you should always celebrate progress, celebrate growth. It's very important to always like document yourself.
I think what I love about Joy is she could, you know, that thing they say. My mom used to say that the fact that I'm carrying the weight of an elephant meat does not mean I will not stretch my hand to save something else. Right? That's how Joy is. You know, as a women are multitasking, and she always put it on her status that I'm not multitasking. I need, but in reality, she's incredibly.
I just feel like this is so she knows that.
And she's doing it well. Like she's not just everywhere
Yeah, and when you
making
enjoy,
mistakes.
and when you enjoy what you
Yeah.
do,
She's
as
doing it
well.
well. Even it's TD Jakes that said leading and bleeding. Right? She could be bleeding, stabbed on the back, but she's leading with gusto, with class, with style. Thumbs up to you, Joy. You're
Let's
doing a
end
good
it
job.
here. It was me that started this. And let's end it. So she knows that I'd rather choose Jane than probably say this outside, but she knows that I'm really proud of her. I just needed to like do this.
But because you look good on that chair, though. It's worth seeing.
We should bench. We should take Timothy to the bench. TNT, I'm coming for your chain, man. See how good I look on this chair. But yeah,
Thank you guys.
I don't
Thank you
think
so
we're going
much.
to
And
miss
yeah, shout out to TNT. It's currently an Otondo undergoing the 3 weeks of
Training.
serving his country. That's the intensive. What do we call that?
Otondo.
No. We call it what do we
Carrion
call that?
Corps?
The 3 weeks in camp is called something.
Orientation
camp. Yes.
Orientation
camp,
So he's
yeah.
undergoing that. That's why he is not. For those that are waiting to hear his takes, because I know that he has his own fan base on the
Everybody
show.
people.
He has no fan base
We
on
should
the
probably
show.
put a culture into it. We should be wearing white and white. It is white and white.
This is not on the
Send our producer pictures.
We should see your white and white.
It's going to see this. It's going to see this.
Anyway, shout out
Saturday has
to
time
him.
to watch, man.
Yes, shout
He's
out
waking
to
up by
him.
4:30.
He's going through a
And
lot.
he's a soft boy.
It's not traumatized. That's how traumatized me. Anyways, talking about trauma, I think the trauma is over for Nigerian fans and, of course, global fans of Kamoru Usman, because he's back to winning ways. And the UFC, over the weekend, he came back, bounced back. And for a 38-year-old, we're talking about people who are always resilient. It shows how Nigerians, even though I don't like it, we are very resilient people. And at 38, he's back to winning. And, how was that moment for you, Sebastian?
Well, it was quite emotional. I had it in mind to watch that fight. It was a club World Cup after the Al Ahly game against Inter Miami, so I just had to stay up all through to also catch that fight. Great to see him back in action. Near 20 months he's been away. His last fight was in 2023, and this was a guy who was coming into this fight having lost his last 3 bouts. Lost twice against Leon Edwards, lost against Khamzat Chimaev, and you know that feeling that when people start to write you off after some time, when you've been doing it for years. He's had issues with his knees, so people thought, okay, the knees is gone, he's done. He doesn't have anything to offer in the sport. Just retire, that kind of thing.
Pack up.
And after losing three straight bouts, he just had to. And he was coming back against a fighter who's in his prime, Buckley. He's a pound for pound fighter.
when I saw the build of the fighter he was supposed to take,
it's
and I was like,
very scary opponent. But Kamoru Usman, your fellow Edo State born, from Auchi.
We know they carry that.
So it was a good fight, and Buckley was expecting a kind of let's this
combat.
is
Let's
this
go.
is your
Let's get in the
You have to use your experience. This is a guy who has lost his last 3 fights, so he would do anything to win. He's not going to come pound for pound all through the 5 rounds. When he needed to grapple, he grappled. When he needed to fight, he fought. And at the end of the day, he got the unanimous decision.
So that was even my own greatest joy. That was my own greatest pride, for you to get an unanimous decision kind of win.
Buckley came out after the game to say he was expecting more stand-up fight
I was expecting to win
the last 3 fights, and I'm coming back after 20 months.
Mayweather made his biggest money from being very smart.
So he had to do everything he can to win. It was the result in the end, and
we want to follow the tiki-taka.
Get the result.
Put it to the striker, Tony Pulis style.
I've not seen Kamoru Usman grapple the way he grappled in this fight. The yard was from this sort of yards he went into the grapple, and so many takedowns against Buckley in that fight. He didn't see it coming, but it was the result that matters, and the emotions after the fight, the interview. This is a guy who's, for most of his bouts, his daughter has always been there, watch him, but in this bout his daughter wasn't there to watch him. Obviously he's been going through a lot. He didn't disclose what's been the issue. So, but to get the win at the end of the day, and this is a guy who's lost just 4 fights in his career, and those 4 fights, those 4 defeats rather, have come in the last 3 bouts. So that tells you
where his head is mentally.
Mentally what's been going through, and to get this win, reminding the division that he's still the boogeyman of the industry and still the Kamoru Usman. So he's waiting for the next person. We don't know who's going to get next, but he's really back, and we can't wait to see what next for him.
We can't wait to see what next for him. I'm really, really proud of him. Like I said, Nigerians are very resilient people. Take that from me. I know what I'm talking about, and I don't like it. And I don't like it. I said it when I started that particular
life should be
point.
easy.
We
shouldn't be defined by hardship, survivors. Can't life just be easy?
Well, once it's not easy, we always find a way around it, and that's what Usman has done, and he's back, and we're so happy for him. Looking forward to him continuing this way until he finally retires.
I would have put a call through to him. Well,
let's see how the rest of the summer will go, because like I said, it's the off season. While football is still ongoing, but
they say we should come to Europe and
it's the off season kind of football that we are going. Anyways, that's where we are going to go next, because it's currently time for the Club World Cup, the CWC, and it is ongoing in the United States of America. Strange to a lot of people here, especially our viewers, because I know that majority of our viewers are people in Nigeria. So for many of you in Nigeria, I'm sure that the time difference have not really been favorable, except for maybe the game that happened yesterday. We saw some games 8 p.m. and then of course, because it was also a Sunday, so of course it allowed people watch. But I want to talk about those that are actually viewing it or watching it in the country. The turnouts on the first day
for $4.
You understand I mean, we talked about on the show. If you missed the last edition, you can go back to what the last edition, where Timothy and Sebastian kind of broke down the sponsorship, where money will be coming from, apart from the ones that, of course, FIFA we are going to invest. They got a lot of sponsorship from the Saudi money bags.
Yeah.
Yes, the PIF. So all of that was broken down in the last edition. But this time around, now we were talking about it before it came. We are now into it. We've seen some games already go down. We've seen some reactions. Mikolo talked about some fans that crashed out and all of that. And also we've seen reports before the game started about how people might be scared to go watch games because of the whole immigration thing that is going on in the United States. We know how the United States is currently, all of that. Now I want us to talk about the fact that the World Cup is coming next year, and this is kind of like a test run for how we're going to witness the World Cup in its entirety, because the United States is one of the 3 countries that will be hosting in 2026. Let me start with Mikolo. How have you received it so far, and do you think that this is something that FIFA would be proud of doing in the United States? I'm not talking about the format now. I'm talking about where they decided to hold the first edition of this kind. Do you think they'll be proud that this is where they brought it? So do you think that they will be thinking about them? Maybe they should have just kept it in European countries, or even bring it to Asia or even Africa. I mean, all those other places. I've seen more reception of football in its entirety than the United States. Do you think that they'll be regretting it right now, or do you think we should continue in that light?
I think I'm all for innovation, and I'm all for like breaking new markets. I'm all for like opening the game up to like more people that have not seen it. But what I'm not up for is changing the whole entire thing to fit that fan base. Now, I understand when it comes to marketing, when it comes to branding, you have to be able to package the sports in a way that appeals to the people that are there. So I can understand breaking new markets, going there, breaking new audience, wanting to bring them into the fold as people that are not essentially football lovers. You know, their own style of football, their own idea of football is the NFL. They are more focused on basketball and other sports, so they've not really been soccer people according to the way they call it. So I understand that, but I also understand the fact that if you're introducing something to them, I want it to be introduced in the proper way. You do not have to dumb down the style of football, everything that makes it football to be able to appeal to them. And I feel like that's where we are going to be having issues, because first things first, tell me why yesterday I was trying to watch PSG versus Atleti and they were ushering in the players one after the other. Like it was some celebration parade, like it was PSG winning the Champions League, and then you're coming to celebrate them in front of the fans. So it doesn't go down well with me. The fact that they have to like bring players in one after the other, call them in one after the other.
The fighting change right now.
Do you understand? See, that is not so if this change was something that didn't affect what the football was like, so there was like a delay in the kickoff yesterday because of this, because you have to now it looks like a stadium. It looked like Old Trafford. You know where the tunnel is from Old Trafford. Now imagine calling the players one after the other per team. Do you understand? Like, so you call Griezmann, you call the Paul. So 22 individuals coming out one after the other because you wanted to appeal to the fans. So I feel like those aspects of the game should not be dumbed down. Let's have the normal style of football, the normal camera angles. There's a whole lot to actually, and that's why I'm happy that they're having this Club World Cup there, because there needs to be a lot of things that has to be fixed. The camera angle makes it look like a preseason tournament. The style of coming into the play, the fans and all of that. Empty seats were scattered all around. There's even a colleague of ours that also made a video.
I don't think I have issues with the camera angles though.
I have issues with the camera angles, to be honest.
I need to come in here.
It didn't look like this.
Majority of European stadiums are in the 30,000, 40,000 to 60. Anything above 60 is extraordinary. In England, for instance, there are like 3 or 4 stadiums that are 90. In the 60,000 capacity. You're looking at the US, where you have the game Paris Saint-Germain, Atletico Madrid. You have 82,614. That's for a new style. That's a sellout. The first game, it's a sellout. This thing that we do when we defend the MPFL, where we say people will just pick one little error and amplify it. That's exactly what you're doing with the World Club Cup.
But I've given them their props now. So, I say I'm all for opening up the markets.
Good. So I think that in terms of attendance, they've done very well. Camera angles, I really don't know what you mean by camera angle, because what they did was they have the whole normal system. This is new broadcast system, right? I saw the cinematic view, I saw the panoramic view, and then I also saw that over the top drone shots.
It's giving La Liga.
But La Liga is not.
But don't you love
like that camera angles?
There's this camera angle from La Liga. I love it so much. Like
you're a Premier League fan.
Shooting to the eyes.
No, you're an EPF fan. I can understand that. But the general outlook of the World Club Cup, one of the things you need to understand is, if I'm selling to America and I refuse to appeal to that audience, basic audience first, and they don't come to the stadium because I want to do the European style, what do I gain? It's a failure. It's a $1 billion investment, right? Whether PIF or PLF, whatever they call them, brought the money, their zone is streaming. I love the fact that I also saw Sporty TV streaming it on their YouTube channel. And if you know FIFA very well, you can't steal their content. For that to happen, it means that the zone getting it means that they've also breaking it down small cell. They've done some small cell, which is I think commercial. On next week Sunday, we're going to produce for Sporty TV. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, Sporty TV is going to do this for the content that we're going to produce. How do we live up to this? That's already putting me in the edge. But then I was like, okay, the budget that they give me is not even enough to match this one. But whatever it is, I think that in terms of marketing, commercials, and the numbers that they crush, because I was talking with Sunday Lisa yesterday about all of these things, FIFA is reckoning money. The projection already is saying that they might hit 2 billion.
Well, I think responding to our question, I feel like the other things that need to also be put in place to make sure like the safety of people that are coming to watch the games, the whole everything that is going on with ransacking and deporting people, and giving visas. There's been so many visa issues in the last couple of months, even to journalists that had accreditation and all of that. It's been taking too long forever. So this is where fan base is coming. How do fans travel to all of these games? Do you understand? So I feel like these are some of the things that if you're saying you want to host the world, then you should be able to receive the world, and I feel like that's what you should definitely work towards.
But caveat emptor, if your country not qualify, like in the case of Nigeria, forget your accreditation. I'll tell you for free. If your country not qualify, you did Nigeria, forget your accreditation.
They'll give accreditation. People went to Qatar now.
Qatar is open to people now. Qatar is a 350,000 people country now with 3 million.
I feel like they'll still give some journalists, maybe not major.
America will give countries first of the order. This is information that I get. The order of preference will be countries are qualified.
Yes.
And those countries are qualified. If you put your name there, they will screen everything, all your social media activities, and find one fault why they shouldn't give you visa for countries that are qualified. But if your country not qualified, no, Donald Trump no, this was.
But I mean, looking at that whole visa thing, can we look at it from this angle? The fact that it's a 3-country hosted World Cup. Do you think that people, fans, not just journalists, because fans too, I know a lot of people immigrants are under a lot of pressure in America right now, and then other people are seeing it. But for people that want to experience the World Cup, that want to travel, you think people will prioritize going to Canada and Mexico for the other games, especially because they'll be hosting other games too in an expanded World Cup? Do you think that would also be something that maybe FIFA can exploit and say, okay, since you guys, have they done this splitting of where each games are going to play? Not yet. So I'm thinking, is this something that FIFA will also consider, saying that they might not be able to change the mind of the president?
I think the ethics committee has a lot of work on their hands, to be honest. The ethics committee and the LOC on how this is going to go, the accreditation process, the fans processing, because now the immigration rules are beginning to change.
Stricter now.
Yes, more strict and stringent now. So Canada, Mexico still opening up a bit, and I feel like what's going to play in against people in US is how big the place is. So it is that's why it's going to get more stringent, because it's a very big place for USA. You understand? So I feel like that's why they're going to be more stringent with their rules. I just feel like it's going to be some very logistical issues. Interesting times ahead. Want to see how the whole political thing of Trump doing his thing, FIFA wanting to do their thing, making it very exciting. Let's see how it's going to go.
What needs to be done? What needs to be done will be done eventually, because like you said, 3 countries hosting the World Cup in 2026. If it's tough for people to get across to the US to see these games, maybe the only question will be more like, is Canada and Mexico more like a footballing nation compared to the 3? When it comes to football,
Mexico is more of a footballing nation than America.
Than
Canada is not.
Maybe not Canada. So that might just be one dent in terms of moving it away, some games away from USA, if people are finding it difficult to get across there to watch those games.
But in the end of the day,
in the end of the day, what needs to be done will be done.
2 times.
So we can't just watch idle and see people struggling to go to the US to watch these games.
I mean, also looking at like Mikolo said, interesting time ahead. If you've been following the events that have been happening the last 1 week, you can also see that there's an impending struggle with an ally of the United States. That's Israel and of course Iran. So with things that will happen between now and then, God help us, there's no World War III. That is also going to also play a part in immigration for people coming. Like I said, it's a World Cup. People could come from different parts of the world.
That also like gives line to other activities that's going to be going on. Because for example, imagine Russia backs Iran. Are the athletes allowed to come if they qualify for the World Cup? Are they allowed to travel into US? So these are what the ethics committee will be racking their brain on right now, and hoping that things really get sorted, because Russian athletes are to come into the US territory. If they back Iran in this war against Israel as allies, where does that leave the country?
So interesting times. There's
an Iranian footballer stuck in this country as well. He plays for Inter Milan. I'm trying to remember his name now. Mediterranean. Yeah, he's supposed to join up with the Inter Milan squad for the Club World Cup, but due to what's happening, he's stuck in Iran, his own country, couldn't join up with the team. So situations like this might just be,
So guys,
so that's like one of the things you look at. Again, most people think that there is this thinking that it feels like it's only the US that is hosting. I was asking a friend, we're having a conversation on this, and I said, what if your is a Ghanaian? And I said, if your country qualified, we saw him at the African Games, your country qualified for the World Cup and you're placed in Mexico, and your most likely next round match will happen in Canada. Why are you crazy about the US thing and you're not thinking of the Mexico that you will go to? And Mexico, who wants to go to Mexico? I said, this is where the problem is. This type of thinking and the fact that a lot of people are putting it out there is already telling FIFA that, people don't want to come to the US for the World Cup. We are deporting more. Some people just want to come here and mix with the crowd. That also is going to be checked. We're not going to, America is not going to sit back and say, because the World Cup is going on, people are there, let us not go and let anything go. The rules are not going to change. Your country don't qualify. Watch out for TV.
Stay in Lagos, Nigeria.
Of course, looking forward to
because
how
most
all
likely
of that.
Not going to qualify.
Looking for how all of this is going to play out in the coming months. The World Cup is just a year away from now. So yes, the Club World Cup is still on. I don't know. I think with just 2 days of matches. Today's match day 3. I don't know if we want to talk about the football. If we want to talk about
quality
the
of
quality
opponents
of opponents.
and the way they were chosen.
Maybe we should wait till the next one, because by that time we'll see more teams that would have played.
We've also seen part-time pharmacy students and pharmaceutical.
I just love the fact that I've seen players I've not seen in a long time play, because different confederations
and all of that. So
love the vibes.
But the Club World Cup is
should have won that game.
It's still they pay me. Like they lost so many chances.
Well, we'll see other African. We have 4 African teams representing us at the Club World Cup. Between now and then, next episode we would have seen every African team. Hopefully, we would have seen every African team play at least their first game in this competition. So going forward in the show, let's talk about looking at things that happened during the week. I know that it's been some couple of days, but I want to get the guys' reaction on this. And this is going to be, we talked about him when he started, the whole drama started, but now an aftermath of the whole situation. In fact, last episode, I kind of closed shop on that when I told Sebastian and said, congratulations, at least they've given you guys some money and all of that. Only for now, last week, guys, we found out that this guy is currently competing with Duolingo in Spanish. And I'm talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Joy, you are not good.
Yes, it's true, because and then there was a crash out. There was a crash out on social media, like insane. For people, I know Sebastian was really kind of indifferent about it, and I know a lot of people
not happy.
No, not happy, but he was not.
His emotion.
No, he was not happy.
Sebastian is
about
not
it.
the right example. Sebastian was angry. He was angry initially about the money thing.
I was.
Liverpool fans were all angry. It's different, but some of them were just like.
That's not Sebastian. Sebastian sat down in this chair and was very angry about the fact that they were not getting money.
Yes,
so he's not the right example. I know what you're saying. There are fans that were indifferent, but not Sebastian.
Almost cried, Boss, think about it. And he should have given us some money. At least he should have make us make money.
I know there are fans that were indifferent. You can go with that. Don't say Sebastian.
All right. Court ruled. Objection sustained. Yes. So yes, they said Sebastian is not the example to use, but if you get me, they were fans of Liverpool who we are not really happy about it, but we're indifferent. Just allowed it go. Sebastian is not part of them. But last week, being different,
different,
everybody crashed out. So that's where were you?
It's painful to see. I mean, no, man, not true now. No, because I was first not happy that this guy was gonna go on a free.
See the tone of his voice.
Eventually, okay, Madrid, we collect more money from Madrid.
Yeah.
But I mean, this guy was speaking fluent Spanish. When did this happen? How? So that tells you one thing. I mean, Real Madrid as a club. I mean, I
will continue to love Real Madrid.
No.
Because this is how you do a professional job.
And now they are trying to do something else with Konate as well.
It's called the mafia job.
He has a year less on his contract and he's struggling to sign a new deal. He obviously wants more money. I feel they should give him more money, but they're trying to now go from behind and get him on a free again. So it's painful to see. But Trent, this is my vice captain.
Chopping Spanish like that.
He just chop Spanish where we don't know.
And Asasa.
There was no accent in that.
Perez they look at like this.
This guy when they speak English, they struggle to speak English. Why staying in England?
As a fan, it's painful to see because I mean this is a scouser. This is the captain of the club, and this thing has been happening. I mean, his brother is his agent, and he's been the one obviously engineering the move of
the plot is cool.
It's been plotted from way back, because they offered him a contract. He didn't sign, but he kept mute. He wasn't all vocal like the Mo Salahs, the Virgil van Dijk, who were open to, calling the club out, like they were practically pleading that he wants to stay.
Yeah.
But this guy kept quiet. There was a game he scored against Leicester. There was this celebration he did. Maybe I felt okay.
People talk too much.
The talk was so I felt something was coming. Maybe this guy was going to sign at the end of the day. But I mean.
To be honest,
you're a rat, bro.
Because I know me and Nicole enjoyed ourselves last week with this whole thing, but for me, some of the funniest things I saw on social media were things like people saying that some of those memes where they're like when Nunes and Diaz are gossiping about Salah or
in Spanish. Yes.
And this guy and right now you just imagine how people like Nunes and Diaz are watching that particular distance.
I think most of them will be surprised.
Yes,
they will be surprised
because obviously the only person that could not speak English at all in your team was Nunes.
Yes.
It was a problem for him communicating with his teammates, and then you have someone that could translate.
When Ronaldo joined Madrid, he could only say on those straps, a la Madrid. That's like 1, 2, 3. I said everything in English.
When Kylian Mbappe
it was basic stuff.
Yeah.
But Trent, when he speaks English, there's this
accent you get.
This guy was stopping the Spanish.
I wish he was.
He was not stopping. That's the very funny thing. He did not stop like he was.
Sorry. I saw another meme where they were like, there was a game where he scored for Liverpool and he was crying, and they were like, it's because he missed his Spanish.
He missed his Spanish lesson class.
He missed out.
To be honest,
they also told us that as much as we were saying, okay, maybe he was learning on duo, like this is not a duo kind of thing.
This is not Duolingo.
My daughter
is a tutor.
My daughter has Duolingo streak in Spanish.
I do too, and I cannot.
Let's look at it from the flip side. Yeah, because we're here shredding most of our Nigerian players, whether it's Osimhen, whether it's Paul Onuachu, whether it's Victor Boniface, Ademola Lookman, that they don't have the right team around them. Now, would it not be hypocrisy on our part to look at Trent? Okay, I understand he's a Liverpool fan. I'm not a Liverpool fan. Doesn't mean I wish Liverpool bad. I don't have that kind of issue. Can't we say there is a lot to learn from him? They've let him, he's put his foot on the ground. I don't want to renew. He didn't put up a drama. He didn't throw shit in the face of the coaches like Teribe West did sometimes. He didn't fight anybody. When he get a chance to play, he played at his heart. While preparing for the future, motivational speakers always tell us that always be ready, always prepared. When the opportunity comes, you use it. Is that not what they tell us in Boy Scouts? Yeah. Always be ready, right? So from the professional side, because if we throw up all this emotional drama, we will still do our job as football analysts. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold has shown us that he is a consummate professional of the highest order. I can't let my past hold me down so much that I'm not going to go into my future. Real Madrid was his future. Anyhow you want to look at it.
I feel like this could have. I'm not saying you should chase imperfection, but I just feel like this could not be as that fluent, to be honest.
Okay, now
I feel like there's nobody that will not crash out. There's nobody that will not crash out.
In the scale of betrayal, if we go to Madrid, Trent to Madrid,
those that's not their childhood club. They didn't grow up supporting that club. Figo was not a Barcelona fan. Was not a Madrid fan.
Do you know how Figo left Barcelona?
I've watched the documentary.
I think I get
it.
It's just like
William Gallas to Chelsea, William Gallas to Arsenal, William Gallas from Tottenham to Arsenal. All of those are valid. I understand.
Robin van Persie to Man United.
The
baby in me, the boy on the inside of me, I've always wanted to play for Man United.
See, bro, I'm angry.
I've
had anger when it comes to transfers. I've had Henry to Barcelona after playing rubbish against them. After playing rubbish against them in the previous year in the Champions League, made us lose that final and made our enemies be triumphing over us in 2025 for not winning the Champions League from 2006. And then you joined them the next year.
And he was celebrating.
I've seen Fabregas go on national team duty and Puyol was putting a Barcelona jersey on him. And then he came out the next time and said, no, he's not joining Barcelona. And eventually joined them. That is, I understand. I've seen betrayal. I've seen Sami Nasri. I've seen Adebayo run the entire field. I've seen Nasri. I've seen Clichy. I've seen a lot in this life. But I don't think I will crash out as much if my player said this is not going to happen. I'm not going to sign a deal. Fine. I want to leave. I want to play for one of the biggest teams in the world. You can't say no to Madrid, obviously. But going by the circumstances of how you transferred, you now went to your... Gabriel Jesus, I've seen Gabriel Jesus come when he came to Arsenal. I started learning. I've seen players start learning English eventually after they came. New country. I know you want to be professional, Jude Bellingham and all of the likes, but I do not feel that you didn't think it's true enough that this was going to be torture for Liverpool fans if I speak this much of it. So it just felt like
that was his introduction to Real Madrid.
It was a I can't wait to get started kind of speech.
Yeah,
and that is different from what he. But that is different from what he has. That's different from what he has tried to portray.
Show them, yes.
That's the point where I'm coming from. This guy was booed half the season. Even when he's scoring for them. Hold on.
No, not by Liverpool fans. Maybe opposing fans. It was towards the end. It was after he was big. No, it was after
he sounded like Dominic Ayofa now. When they beat people in Makodi, he will say no, not look.
No, he said he was booed for most part. He said he was booed for most part. He was booed
every time Trent Alexander was booed this season was Liverpool fans. Hold on. Let me finish my train of thought. Whatever the time is, this guy gave you 20 years of his life. No, let me finish my train of thought. Now, this guy moved to Madrid. We also saw people say things like, let it not be like Owen and Eden Hazard. Going to Madrid from England have not always been successful. Would you not want to use that window of opportunity to say things like, you know what? You want to see me fail, right? And there are a lot of people that have already sold their Ashwebi, grasped their tweets, waiting for him to fail. His first injury.
You can do that on the field now.
Hold on. Now, he's letting you know that I've got my game on. This is the kind of guy that I am. I'm the kind of guy who's zero in. Because this thing that we are blaming him for is what we praise Michael Jordan for. It's what we praise Mamba, Kobe Bryant for. Why is that now a problem? Because some people who says that his umbilical cord is buried to Liverpool, that he cannot live his life. Would Liverpool hesitate to cut him off? Did they hesitate to cut Sadio Mane off? So when we look at all of that, it is 50-50. Loyalty does not always pay you in this game.
True.
At any level, you will be cut off without being told. Like you will be cut off without being told. You wouldn't even see it coming.
Suarez was tested as come and carry his things.
They tested
Diego Costa.
Yeah. Yap Stam, best defender at Manchester United, he granted one interview. So Alex Ferguson saw he was buying fuel at the filling station. They tested him, Oga, you're not in this club anymore. You're going to a similar. David Beckham was still fighting to play for Man United. They told him, Oga, would I agree deal with Real Madrid? Get out. Remember, David Beckham's original transfer was Barcelona. It wasn't Real Madrid.
Did you see the one this weekend where they said I am right? They were telling him.
I mean, tell him now. I'm the one that said it now. They were telling him, the next room, the West Ham was waiting. He never know. It's in his book. He wrote it in his book, so it's not me. For the point here is this loyalty that we're asking for. We only demand this loyalty from the low to the high. We don't demand that loyalty from the high to the low. When clubs wants to cut you off, I've been in that space. When clubs wants to cut you off, you will blame your village people. You will blame your village people. So I think that if I look at it from a business perspective, your Steven Gerrard cannot touch the bootlaces of Trent Alexander-Arnold right now. I don't care what emotional argument Tony this guy wants to bring. Steven Gerrard slipped up and then win the Premier League.
I've agreed with that one.
One Champions League.
I've said that he's a Liverpool legend and he deserves to go. I understand. But I'm just saying now is that he could have been more discreet, because even those that were indifferent, you know, at the point they were booing him.
Jurgen West now will tell me that he does not understand why you will score against your former club and not celebrate. Have you not said that to me before? True of us. Have you said that to me before? And you also want that mindset.
This is different.
Which context?
You are going to admit that as when as a local boy, yes, we know sometimes loyalty is not the be all end all, but as a local lad, it's going to hurt as a fan.
Would you be this local lad?
No. Trent Alexander-Arnold, great ambition. He wants to win the Ballon d'Or as a right back at Real Madrid. Find a chance. He has a greater chance to win it at Real Madrid than at Liverpool.
I
feel like he has lost the majority of fans that were indifferent.
What did the fans do for him? What did the fans do for him?
He's going to retire from football.
To be honest,
yes, he's going to retire from football. That kind of person cannot walk back to Anfield.
David Beckham's greatest success came from Madrid.
He will. And
you know what Manchester United fans did to him? He was loyal to Man United though. They put a figure of his son that he should die. His wife will have cancer. You watch the video now? No. David Beckham, in life and soul, is Man United. So much so that his father, who's a Tottenham Hotspur fan, moved from London to go Man United. The mama, they work for Man United canteen. That's how much this whole Man United thing is. You know how they sold him? They didn't sell him because he was stubborn, because he married the wife of his dream. That wife of his dream, the father of that wife of his dream, is the one that has made him the biggest brand in world football. In short, the Rebecca changed the way branding is done in football. So when we talk this thing, I think that we're not being fair to the young man. Whatever he has done to end this market, to end this audience is bigger than whatever audience Liverpool will bring for the rest of their life. So, brother man, congratulations. You are my role model, even though I'm older than you.
He has Jurgen Klopp to thank, because I mean Jurgen Klopp has grown so
but even
much.
Jurgen Klopp will be shocked at this one that he saw.
Did Jurgen Klopp go sabbatical? Did he not leave football and say he not go coach again? Now he there for Red Bull. I'm on
at
leave on this
team. No, you know.
But he has Jurgen Klopp to thank. Couldn't have done that for Liverpool.
Trent was booed towards the end of the season, and Jurgen Klopp came out to speak that he's sad to see Liverpool fans do such. And after that, the booing stopped.
Yes, and they cheered him on the final day.
Yes,
which is it's just preserved the remaining
respect. Fans might have moved on. They've moved on because on the day it was announced, Frimpong was also announced. So they've moved on quickly. So I'm not going to sit here and say
this is he's
not going to come back to Anfield as a cult hero. He's going to come. But I mean,
they don't sign Frimpong.
A lot of fans.
All we are saying is that the crash out is allowed.
It's allowed. You can't. At the end of the day, you can't tell fans how to react.
I don't have a problem. You also can't tell a player how to introduce himself to his new fans.
But the way he did it was what was.
Oh, the way the players did it is the way the fans did it is not a problem.
You're the vice captain, for God's sake, and you give us hope that you're going to stay.
Say emotion, though.
You're going to stay.
The man that you are blackmailing Trent.
I'm not blackmailing him. I love the boy so much. I mean, he's a generational right back. I love him so much. But
because of this,
Trent can be a Spanish teacher. This
I think.
To be honest,
actually, I will employ services right now. If I have the money, I swear to God.
Anyway,
guys, talking about
native speaker.
In short, next season we'll find money and go to La Liga. You can learn Spanish so that you intervene with Spanish language.
Well, Real Madrid.
If I cannot, I'll just do no stuff.
Salute the grace of Real Madrid.
They've gotten a fantastic player.
Salute the grace of Madrid that make you learn Spanish overnight.
Alright, I want to take cue. We are running out of time, and next we'll wrap up with some of the things that you guys have been saying on the streets concerning transfers. We are talking about a player that just transferred to Real Madrid, and we are asking fans.
I wish
also,
people are fighting over a snap player like this.
we are also
Your chorus or Benjamin says could come and he speak fluent English.
Nah, go manage.
People are complaining.
Nah.
That would be nice.
Now go manage Watkins.
Or Rodrigo comes and speaks good English fluently. Yes.
well, guys.
This guy when I take his talk.
I mean, we are asking fans who they
Everybody
want
now
their
hypocrite.
clubs to sell. So
Exactly.
we also want to hear from you in the comment
Everybody
section
now
who you
hypocrite
think.
too.
I mean, right now Club World Cup is going on. When the Club World Cup is over, another window opens or the main window
window
itself.
You don't reopen
Today
it,
night,
so
no,
Okay,
Today,
I
today,
reopen. I mean,
today,
everybody.
16th now,
I think that clubs are taking their time.
Look at your checkbook.
Most likely after the Club World Cup. So
No, I
yes.
think I need to
Florian
explain that.
Wirtz. We are
I think I
coming.
need to explain that. Some clubs want this June to end. Most of their financial year
Yeah.
is
Ends
June
in
to
June.
June. You don't want to log in a transfer in this calendar year that is ending. So all this dilly-dallying, they're just waiting another 14 days now. There'll be rush of transfer. Some clubs that doesn't really have the issue with the window or the financial window, the PSR can go ahead and do that
City don't
transfer.
sign 3 players.
But for
My
those ones
clubs
that they
too are
do,
not
and if you
playing.
look at City, the last summer they didn't do transfer. So they did in January, they did now. But what's surprising me with City is the fact that we all sat here at the start of last season and they say 115 camp charges. They steal, they rape, they do this, they did that. They are everything. They rig election, they stole ballots, they cross. They went to court. The matter have been decided since March, Abi. And decision have not been taken because the way City is going in the market seems to me like they already know what the decision is,
Yes.
and they're untouchable. What am I even talking about now? I'm talking about Trent and speaking Spanish.
Well, guys, when the transfer window opens fully, we'll talk on all the transfers that have been made so far. Liverpool are not playing.
They are not playing,
they are,
yeah. They are
the
coming for
money,
that title.
the money. Someone said they are suspending the money of
Trent on.
Coutinho from that move to Barcelona. But all of that, we'll touch on that. But we are asking fans, and we also want to hear from you in the comment section who you think your club should be shipping out. That's what we're asking, not buying right now. I mean, you have to actually
Clear
balance the
space,
books.
clear road.
So the clear road own. But before that, if I'm taking from the last conversation we had concerning Trent, where he was talking about some takes, and I want to ask you guys what you think the weirdest takes you've heard in football. Just one. What's your weirdest take you've ever heard in football before? The weirdest thing from a fan you've heard.
My own is not even from a fan, it's from a player.
Okay.
Eden Hazard, wherever you are, God will judge you. He said on pure football is better than Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm taking that shit to the grave. I'm never forgiving you. Whatever I ever liked about you is gone.
It's
In your
Jose
life.
Mourinho that caused
you
it.
and Rodri say it doesn't
No,
have
it's
pure
Jose
talent.
Mourinho that caused it.
So
Okay,
please, let's move.
your turn.
That's the weirdest take I've read in
Your
my life.
turn.
I think the weirdest take was when Arsene Wenger, and that's when I stopped loving him, when he said that Francis Jeffers was a force in the box, and by his own eye, he thinks that he's better than Anelka and Thierry Henry. Man, that almost made me cry. Francis Jeffers. I don't have a problem with you, but I just have a problem with Arsene Wenger thinking that you can even play
Better
ball
than
half as good as
Thierry.
my great grandmother. Not to talk of, let's not even bring Thierry Henry to the matter of a whole legendary Anelka. Francis Jeffers. 11 million. Wasted in a rat. It says a fox in the boss.
Sebastian, weirdest take.
The weirdest take, Mo Salah is a one-season wonder. What we've been hearing for a long time.
Like,
So
who said that?
even after,
No, it was actually
even
was a
after
thing one time.
after doing it season after season, people still believe that he's not going to do it again. But I mean,
He
I mean,
keeps
this is-
doing
The
it.
disrespect that Mo Salah
Yeah,
gets.
he's-
sha.
Yeah,
way
he
so
gets
disrespected.
some of the highest.
Somebody, I was somewhere the other day. Somebody said that a Nigerian player that before they will send me bullet, they say Osimhen will win African Footballer of the Year ahead of Mo Salah.
This season,
And I was looking, I was like, wait, for playing for defunct Ikorodu United over Premier League.
So it's a like Mo Salah has done it seasons after season. So like I mean that's the summation. He's been way too disrespected in England.
Yeah, okay.
And I mean I can't wait to see him on that podium Ballon d'Or. So we hope
Alright.
he comes.
Let's
If
see
you wanna
where
go
Mo
sweet.
Salah ends at the end of the Ballon d'Or voting. I mean, for the when is the date is going to end? It's going to end with the Club World Cup, yeah.
Yeah,
The Club World Cup
yeah.
is the
The terminal point.
final tournament that will be considered in that particular one. Well, Liverpool are not participating, but I mean, he has done so well for himself in the last season that was concluded I think the Champions League day, 20 or 31st of May.
There's an African in the Club World Cup, and if
no, I'm talking about Mo Salah.
Yeah.
That's true. No, I'm not saying he will win. We are saying where he would finish. I'm not putting him in the top. I'm not putting him in the top 3 because I think that there are other players we've talked about. I mean, it was on this seat that we all talked about. It's not going to be there. We've mentioned Rafinha. We've mentioned Dembele.
I'm not talking about Ballon d'Or.
I'm talking about Ballon d'Or. I'm talking about Ballon d'Or. No, I'm not talking about African best. I'm talking about
African best. Ashraf got the call.
Yeah,
he's got a very big
shot. He's got a very big shot of winning the whole thing ahead of Salah.
So yeah, let's see how that particular one goes. So yes, you can also tell us your weirdest take on the or if you've heard.
Sure, you've not told us ever.
I decide what I say is my show. Thank you.
Boss lady.
Thank you.
President General. President General.
Anyways, guys, it's been fun doing this with you again. Remember that if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Turn on the notification button for you to always get this very, very, very great conversation we have every weekday or every week on YouTube here on Bet WGB TV. And of course, if you've not followed us on all our social media platforms, please remember to do all of that. We are everywhere. You find us everywhere. You can get the clips or the short clips or some of the things that you want to rejig your memory that will make you go back to watch an episode of the show. So yes, please do that.
Sorry, Joy, before you go, there was one video I said
Nicolo's wickedness.
There's one episode I said any Chelsea fan will choose the lap over Osimhen doesn't want the good of Chelsea. They don't sign the lap.
No. Your clip can still work. Let's wait for the new system. No, agenda. You can adopt it anytime. You understand? So just wait. First 10 games.
That video now. Nobody caught it and make it trend. Nobody is discussing that one in WhatsApp group. Now when you talk the opposite now. Oh God, some people.
Anyways, guys, the lap will be in action with Chelsea later on today in the Club World Cup because they'll be playing.
Is that why you're wearing blue?
No, not really. I actually wanted to wear blue.
But
today.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Well, they're playing against Los Angeles FC, and of course, other teams will get to play the rest of. Like I said, we'll talk about the Club World Cup aside from all the financial, the fan base, and everything that we touched on today. The football itself, we'll touch on that next edition of the show. That'll be next week. And of course, this is me saying congratulations to Thomas Muller, who made a landmark with the goal he scored in that game, that 10-0 win of Bayern Munich in the Club World Cup. He has scored 250 goals for that club. That guy, I mean, was one of the players that I remember watch from a very young age with Bayern. Those are some of the players that now I get why Liverpool fans are very angry. When you remember someone like one club players,
traditional footballer,
and all of that. Do the job, no drama, and everything.
Very effective.
Well, guys, still see you again next week. Stay effective, stay out of trouble, and remember to tune in next week when we're back on the show. Bye bye.
For your team, Manchester United, who you think you pursue?
About 19 players, but not
19 players,
but not the coach.
I believe. Give me some names.
Okay. Of course, Casemiro has to go. Not because he wasn't doing well, but age is beginning to catch up with him. Casemiro has to go. Personally, I think Rashford has to go. Sancho has to go. Who else is in that team that needs to go? Onana has to go. Maguire can still give us 1 year, but he has to be on the bench. Fernandes needs to stay, but if the money is good, then we'll do business. Højlund has to go. Zagzi, I don't know. Garnacho, because of his indiscipline, it needs to go. My personal opinion. So, apart from the likes of Eriksen, Lindelof, Evans, and Co. Yeah. So, I think if Amorim is giving the right tools, the right kind of players, we will be fine next season. Definitely, we will be fine.
First, which club do you support?
I'm a Man U fan.
Hey, sorry, my brother. Sorry for this.
The next season we'll do well. Sure, we'll do well next season.
In Amorim we trust.
Sure. Are you sure now? You don't believe? I believe now.
So now for your team now, Man U. May I ask you? Name 5 players where you want me to pursue. Well, you know what, Steve, for that club again.
Like the player that I was I have hope on, that I thought that they would do well this season. Like Amor, I would let them just sell that guy. Amor, Fernandez. Ahmad, yeah.
Make man you sell him.
Made them sell him. From the starting, the guy was doing well, but I felt like now he has more pride. Now the pride is coming.
But you know they come
Like
you know the gara.
you know they chop money now, so you know they fuck up. You understand? Like I'm seeing like this guy, Fernandez. Fernandez is doing well, but pride have come in. You understand? I would suggest that let man you just loan the guy, so that the guy will go and learn in a hard way. You understand? So I still have many players that they need to sell, but it's not something that we'll be talking about this night. I pray that next season they might realize their mistake. So these two, I think that they should just loan them or sell them so that they will learn in a hard way. You understand?
Garnacho come, me they leave or me they sell him.
Garnacho, that boy is doing well. I like next season, I know that boy will improve more. That guy is trying. If you watch the guy is playing business football. But just that I felt like the guy time and season never show up.
That's still small boy now. I still dey learn.
Small boy. When the time my own season show up, and I go see say that guy go do well more than Ronaldo. Just calm down.
Same way they pursue McTominay. He can't go win league for Napoli.
Yes. Remember you know sell him for now. Maybe they just keep him. You understand?
What club do you support?
I'm a gunner. I've been a gunner since 1995.
Arsenal for life.
Yeah, I've been a gunner since 1995 to date.
What do you think about Arteta? Do you think they should still let him be, still stay in the club, or do you think 5 years, 6 years down the line, Baba never still enter any finals? He don't win one FA Cup, but you think Arteta is still the man for Arsenal?
Assistant by Arteta. I want to give him the next 2 seasons. Well, like what everybody keeps on yabbing us about. We are much more like a series film. Next season. Fine. We are going back to next season and see what's going to turn out. This team has come a long way from a very low point to where they are today. So I give a kudos to Arteta too, but I hope, because we've gotten to a point where we are tired of saying the next season. They have to win trophies and silverwares from the next season. But after the next season or the next two years and he doesn't win anything, then he has to walk out.